Welcome back, guys.
Today we're taking the plunge and we're covering
Reef.
Reef. So this is a pretty simple game, simple to learn and simple to play. It's for ages 8 up. Uh, you can play with 2 to 4 players and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, the game mechanics are actually pretty simple. I hadn't known about this game. I don't think either of us did. And so just kind of reading over the rules real quickly, we found that actually it's a pretty easy game to learn. So with that, we'll just dive right in. So what you do is you start with your player board. We're going to move the camera down here. So you do have a player board set up like this. You do start the game with one of each of these 4 colorful pieces of coral. And you place them on your board. And the idea is to try and get different lines, pairings of stacks of coral. So on your turn, you have 2 options. You can either take a card from the deck, or you can play a card from your hand. And you do start off with 2 cards at the beginning. So the cards themselves have 2 actions. They have the amount of coral that you take by playing that card. So when you take this, it'll go into your hand, and then you can play it at a later date. So you can play the 2 pieces of coral anywhere on your player board. And from there, you try to, in the second part of the card, get different combinations of coral. So for instance, you would score 3 points for any pairing of yellow and green coral that are right next to each other. So for instance, Nora on her board actually does have this. She has a green coral here and a yellow coral there, so she would get 3 points. And so you would continue to play the cards like that. And you can do this in a variety of different ways. They come in at right angles, they go in straight lines, orthogonally as well. The main thing to remember with it is it always depends on the top level of your coral. So that's where the color combos come into play. So you can't really see it quite well on my board, but I do have a three row of purple coral, one that's just by itself, one that's on top of a green, and another one that's on top of a red. So technically this counts as a line of purple coral. And from there, you can only have a stack of 4 coral high, and you're pretty much just spending the game going back and forth trying to stack your coral and create different combos. And as a result, you gain points, and the game ends when one of these piles of coral runs out. And from there, you just count up whoever has the most of these little point tokens that you accumulate throughout the game, and the person who has the most is the winner. So it's a pretty easy game to learn, and like Nora said, it only takes about a half hour, 45 minutes. So it's a good family game, and especially good for younger kids, because even though some of it might look a little advanced, it's really just like a lot of counting and placing, and the stacking part of it is also really fun and appealing as well.
Reminds me a lot of that Sagrada game
Yeah,
that we
yeah, trying to get
played,
different
like a
color
simpler
combos.
version of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun game. It'll be available here at the Mount Horeb Public Library.
So yeah, and come on in and check it out.
And thanks again to the Friends of the Library for our awesome board game collection.
Yeah, and if you liked our video, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't also forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can catch all the latest videos that the Mount Horeb Public Library is putting out.
Thanks.
We'll see you again next week.